So let's back up for a second. So the first example you gave, by the way, most of us were raised that way.
Yeah.
So a lot of us think not only we don't mean to, but this is the right way to do it.
Absolutely.
What that could potentially show your kid, because what children do, and this I learned from attachment theory, is everything's internalized, everything's their fault. And so the only way dad likes me, let's say, is I'm obedient. Yep. So in order for me to get love, I have to earn it through being obedient. Yep. And that can become a big problem as an adult, where maybe you're a people pleaser, or maybe you can't say no, or because this is kind of ingrained in you. Now, what you did is you actually let your kid kind of understand you, and then you listen to him, and now it's kind of working together. So let's back up for a second and talk about the attachment. There's like 4 of them. Are there 4?
4 styles.
4 styles of attachment. Let's talk about those and what causes those, and let's understand those first so we can keep
100%,
going. Yeah,
100%. So I'm going to streamline this. There's a few different style discussions out there. So here's the one that I use. Secure is where you know people are going to work with you most of the time in conflict. You can cooperate. When a conflict hits, you're calm, you handle it, you talk with the other person, you solve it together, right? That's secure attachment. You get in a marriage, you can talk to your wife and just say, hey, I need this. You know, can we do this for me? And what do you need in return? How can we take care of you? It's the guys that can just ask their wife point blank, hey, do you want to go to the bedroom for a while? Those guys, right? Most guys are terrified to do that. They have to play games, right? Chore play, they call it. Do the chores, and she'll love you so much. She'll drag you into the bedroom, right? That's most guys are like, they're frantically vacuuming, looking to see if she's noticed. See,
I put that tool belt on with no shirt on, fixing the gutter. This guy's fixed the gutter like 9 times the last month.
Our house is pristine right now.
That's most guys when they're in a relationship. They don't know that they can just go to the woman in their life and say, hey, here's what I would like from you. Can we do this together and share this experience? They think they have to play games to try to negotiate it out of her, right? That's not secure attachment. Insecure attachment, 3 styles as it breaks. You can either break in a direction that says, I am the problem, right? When you're a little child, like you said, everything turns inward. I caused this somehow, so I have to figure out what is wrong with me that causes problems, that people finally get enough of me and will abandon me. Fear of abandonment, and I'm the problem, anxious attachment style. Everybody else is the problem, and everybody else is crazy, and I got to manage them. Still a people pleaser, but not abandonment. It's like, these crazy monkeys out here, everybody's a monkey. They're all screaming, and they're all going to bite me, so I got to keep them at arm's length. Avoidance style. Or you can sometimes, if trauma's bad enough, you can combine the two. Something's wrong with me, but also something's wrong with other people. I will keep them out, but if they get in too close, I reverse, and I become terrified of abandonment. It can break in a number of ways, but that's really the biggest piece.
Or more common than others, or is it kind of split?
Women tend to be more anxious than men, but we excuse it in women. Oh, she's just insecure. Guys who have anxious attachment style, we call them nice guys. Nice guy syndrome. That's nice guy syndrome. More likely to have a woman with that, but guys get it too. Avoidant, men are more likely to get, but we excuse it in men. Oh, he's a workaholic. He's just always gone. He's just so focused on his mission. He's just he has to have that attitude. That's avoidant. Keep everybody else out and hold yourself up. Women who have this are usually the ones who are just, you see all over the bad stories all over the internet of a woman just like humping and dumping all kinds of different guys. She's bragging about how she's never had an orgasm with anybody and she doesn't need to. Like, those are usually the very avoidant women, or the ones that you can't stand when she's your boss. That's more of an avoidant woman too. So interestingly, yeah, they both stand out more when the opposite sex.
Which one is the one where it's like, I don't ask for help, I'll handle it myself. I don't want to be a burden. I'm going to just do my own. Is that the avoidant one?
That can be both, interestingly. Okay. So avoidance sometimes can be manipulative, but a lot of them are just quiet, nice guys who are just nervous. They're not nervous about abandonment. They're nervous about getting hurt. So they don't think anyone will ever care about their needs. They just keep everybody else out and say, you know what? I'll take care of it myself. Don't worry about it. You stay right there. I'll take care of me. You take care of you. Or I'll take care of you a little bit so that you'll always have good intentions toward me. But I'm going to stay right here. That's most guys in business.
Wow. Yeah. So I learned about myself. I was parentified at a young age because I'm the oldest of 4. And so I was like another parent to all these siblings. I also grew up, loving household, but very kind of old school, immigrant household where, stuff would happen. I couldn't really figure out what's going on. Why is everybody yelling? And so I never brought problems to my parents, ever, ever. And to this day, asking for help is almost impossible. Yeah. I'm the bear it, handle it, I'll take care of it myself type of deal. 100%. And it's all because of that, because of how I grew up.
If you opened up to someone, are you afraid that they would abandon you because you're not worthy of it? Or are you afraid that they would look down on you and maybe use it against you somehow in the future.
Probably the second one. I say probably because I don't necessarily think that. And this is what's interesting about what you're saying. Someone may be listening and be like, well, this is all unconscious, most of it.
It is.
Yeah. So this is like, I'm having to like peel back and look deep. And a lot of it's just, I don't want to feel or appear weak.
That's it.
Yeah.
Men who are terrified of appearing weak and that vulnerability, that's usually the nervous avoidant attachment style. What they would have called dismissive avoidant back in the long day. Dismissive avoidant attachment of, I don't want to look weak because that will get used against me, or they'll look down on me, or I'll make less money. Something bad is going to happen. I can't go to my parents, and if I can't go to them, I can never go to any human being on earth. So it's just me for the rest of my life. And we do. We cover it over, and I'm tough. I can do everything, right? I have millionaires come in for coaching with me, and they say, Adam, I don't need any help, but I could really use your help. I'm hiring you, but I don't actually need any help, but I really need it. And then they come in and they say, my wife, here's the thing, their wife usually has anxious attachment the other way. And he says, we haven't had sex in 6 months. And I haven't had the guts to ask her about it. I've done everything I should to make it happen, and she just won't do it, and I'm not sure why. And I don't have a very close relationship with my kids, and she's always on me about that. And I do everything I possibly can. What more is a man supposed to be doing? And those are the guys that come in, and they don't usually hit a point where they say, there's a problem here, until the wife is really upset, or the kids are really upset, or she's threatening divorce. And it has to head in that direction for most guys to say, okay, maybe there's a chance that I could get some help from somebody and maybe change who I am.
Yeah. Why is it? Because this leads me to this question here. I've read statistics and I've seen them confirm that a majority of divorces are initiated by the wife.
70%.
70%. Now, why is that? Is it because, the stereotype, you can't make them happy? Or is it because the other stereotype, guys just don't like to ask for help, or in order for them to even think there's something wrong, shit has to be on fire? Like, what is going on here?
I love this question. I wrote a book exactly about this called Exhausted Wives, Bewildered Husbands, which is all about this dynamic, because I treat couples and I work with couples as a licensed marriage and family therapist for years, now as a coach. They come in and they've been together for 20 years. And the wife is now saying, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm way beyond anything. I don't want to reconcile. I just want a divorce. The kids are grown. They're in college now. And the husband says, I'm willing to try now. Tell me anything and I will fix it. I will fix it. I will cut off my left arm if you want me to. And the guys come to me as a last-ditch effort and say, Adam, I don't know what the problem is. She is all of a sudden upset and says that we have to get a divorce for no reason. And I say, let's talk about your relationship over the last 20 years. What has that been like? I'll bring the wife in sometimes. And she'll say, I have been trying to change the relationship for 20 years. I've been telling him things. I've been dropping hints. I've been asking. I've been begging. And it wasn't a problem until we had kids, but then I watched the kids grow up with anxiety and he doesn't connect with them and he won't listen to me. Women tend to micro-change themselves continuously for the relationship to augment it, and they expect men to do the same. The male brain, however, sees and observes in the back and then goes forward to act upon it. If we see a problem and believe it's fixable and have the solution or are capable of asking a man for help for the solution, then we will follow through and do that solution. Most guys who have that problem either don't see a problem, their wife is just emotional, who cares? We're surviving, this is the best it'll ever be. They don't think a solution is possible. If I open up, she'll lose all respect for me, it'll destroy the marriage, I will just be the laughing stock. Or they're terrified, they know there's a problem, but they're terrified to open up and ask anybody for the solution because they don't think anybody else will ever give it to them. Those are the three pieces that keep men locked in bad marriages for 20 years, and then they get blindsided by a divorce someday.
So how do we better sell this to men?
The biggest thing is when I'm on podcasts like this is I just tell men, look, there's hope and you can change. And they say, no, no, it's not. And then they listen. And I say this, look, I have worked with millionaires who've been unhappy into their 60s and they finally come in. The oldest client I ever had was 80 years old. And he walked in, had led an overwhelmingly successful financial life, terrible personal life, terribly unhappy. And it is absolutely fixable once you realize the pieces that were missed, the generational gaps, the parents who didn't teach you, you can come to me with problems and we will solve them together. If you build that, that's what I call a self-correcting family system. You don't have to have a perfect family for secure attachment. You have a self-correcting family system. When there's a problem, come to me. We will do it together. I will not be angry at you or judge you. We will solve it together. Will it be perfect? No, but we will take care of each other. When you train your kids for that, they look for that everywhere out in the world and they thrive. When you train your kids, when you have a problem, it is your fault and I'm going to yell at you until you fix it. They will never come to you for help. So when we train men like that, and we say, guys, you can get help without looking weak, right? You can do the physical and be the strong samurai, but you also have to have the internal work that a samurai would have done. This is old knowledge that has been lost. When you train men like that and say there's hope and there's solutions, they're willing to think about it.